Rob, for anyone who maybe hasn't heard or maybe has heard but doesn't quite understand the concept, could you just explain what Hyperloop is in 60 seconds or less?
Absolutely. Very simply, Hyperloop takes a tube, creates a low pressure environment inside of that tube, takes a pod that could carry people or cargo, and levitates that pod inside the tube so there's no friction, and then uses an electric motor to move it really quickly while using very little energy to achieve very high speeds. So because we have no air resistance in a low pressure environment, we have no friction from the levitation, we use an electric motor to move very quickly and then continue that speed. We end up with a high-speed transportation system that actually can deliver incredible benefits for how we live, where we work, how cargo moves, how congested our highways can, how we can relieve congestion in the highways, and it's a really big idea, and our company's working hard to make it a reality.
I see. And would you say it's it's almost as if a new form of high-speed rail? It's designed to replace high-speed rail.
Yes, 60% of the cost, 3 times the speed, much more flexibility than we think of a big train. 1,200 people getting on a train that either goes just to one destination or keeps slowing down. The idea of Hyperloop is actually analogous to packetization in the internet. We only want to send a pod to its final destination. We don't want to stop along the way. So Hyperloop will be like packetizing transportation. And if you imagine when you came into this room, you hit the 35th floor, you really wanted that elevator just to stop at 35, and that's how Hyperloop's going to work. Just push the button and you'll end up in your destination.
So it's point to point. It's
exactly
almost like a metro system, but without any of the stops between
exactly.
you and your goal.
And that'll make the time much lower. We can then take advantage of the high speeds that we can achieve, up to 750 miles an hour, 1,200 kilometers an hour, and we can actually make the experience completely different than today's transportation experiences. The other part of city living or urban living that most of us experience is the increasing amount of traffic on our roads that's caused by container travel. And we've got to move cargo, but we can imagine offloading cargo in ports into a Hyperloop pod and bypassing those city freeways, which are very clogged, and then maybe having an inland port, a dry port, where we have that intermodal exchange and trucks pick up the cargo maybe 100 miles inland from some of the most famous ports around the world and our beautiful cities, and we free up that land for people to enjoy in the heart of some of the most valuable real estate in the world.
In terms of the energy requirements for Hyperloop, do you imagine that it will be a green project?
It's going to qualify for a lot of very green capabilities, swaps, green bonds, and other opportunities, because really what happens is when you create that environment, low pressure, no friction from wheels, and levitation without friction, you only need to apply power to propel or to move the pod across 5% of the distance.
People are becoming safety conscious, security conscious. How will Hyperloop guard against and bake in security so that it's safe?
We'll have a lot of focus on safety, procedures, certifications, working with regulators to make sure we create an extremely safe experience, both for passengers, which will be important, as well as for the safe transportation of freight and goods that will be part of our solution in the future.
Important question for people using the Hyperloop. Even if it is just 15 minutes, will there be a bathroom inside the capsules?
That's a good design question, and some of our most talented engineers are working on solving that problem right now.
Is it weird to see people so excited about what is effectively an infrastructure project?
It's really interesting that people are so excited about Hyperloop everywhere here at CES. Why is it? It's because we inherently want to see a really bold vision where there appears to be all the odds against it. Regulators are going to stop you. People are going to... Everybody wants to see this happen. Everybody has experienced what it's like when we push regulators to get an experience that's better than what we had. And Uber and that kind of analogy is really it's pushed regulators, it's pushed governments. We're always going to have air travel,
Sure.
right? We're always going to have, you and I will have some form of cars on the road, and those aren't going away. But that kind of high-speed experience between cities, long distances or short commuter distances, really does rewrite the rules about how real estate could be developed and how new cities could evolve and where we study and where we work. It's pretty exciting, and distance starts to melt away a lot of different barriers to how we all actually live on the planet.